I want to make this video very in-depth because I realize that some of the people nowadays don't even realize how incredible can the outbound appointment setting position be. They're always too picky. They want to get the stuff easy. They want to just make some quick cash and dip onto the next offer to improve. They want to become managers. They want to become closers. They think that this is an easy way to make money, which obviously it isn't. It isn't. I'm sure you know it by now, and I'm sure that you are aspiring to become an A player. And the reason I want to make this video in depth is because I truly want for you to become that A player. And outbound appointment setting positions will be lucrative and profitable for guess who? A players only. They're the only ones who will actually profit off of it heavily. No one else, because they know what it takes to actually succeed. Getting skills built and still getting paid alongside is what this game is all about. You know, when I was getting started, I always say from my experience, from my personal experience, I thought I'm losing so much cash because I'm not making any money. But then only later down the line, I realized that I wouldn't have been able to make my first 3K a month 4 months after getting started if I didn't go through that difficult period, if I didn't focus on building that skill. So this is exactly what it's all about. But nowadays, since I've already walked that walk and I made some mistakes at my very beginning, I'm teaching you to avoid doing those same mistakes again and not only learn but also get paid. That's what it's all about. Because there are a few simple things that we need to understand here. The stronger the foundation, the taller the building. It's as simple as that. When you build something fast and carelessly, it will fall fast. Imagine building a skyscraper in like 2 weeks' time. It is most likely that it's gonna fall as soon as the first earthquake hits. And that earthquake in this scenario will be happening in your mind because obviously we know that every single journey has his own ups and downs, right? But we shouldn't let those downs affect us. And that's exactly why we're gonna take care that we build our foundation long term. That's truly what you need to absorb, that sort of a mentality, because what comes fast goes fast as well. Never rush the process. Honestly, there is no reason for you to rush the process. You've been unsatisfied probably. I mean, I'd like to assume because otherwise you wouldn't decide to make a change and start making money online because obviously you've never done so before. That's exactly why you're here. But you've been kind of unsatisfied with your situation for long enough. What's few more months? So there's no reason to rush the process. Yes, I always say speed is the key to success. It truly is. You have to act quickly, but there's a thin line between acting quickly and rushing the process. In no scenario you should rush the process because to master the outbound, you need several months of, at least, I mean, of consistent work. You need several months of consistent work. And once you get to that level, you will see that the game all of a sudden changes. All of a sudden, your game changes the same way it did for me. Landed that inbound role. How? Because a person who offered me that inbound role saw my potential. He literally scouted me like, I don't know, like a football player. He was scouting on the sidelines, seeing the work I'm doing, seeing the wins I'm posting, booking these many calls, that many calls, doing cold outbound, converting leads, qualifying them, handling like a pro. And he was like, you know what? I want to give you a chance at this inbound position. And I just decided to do what I was doing the best: qualifying, generating interest, leveraging interest, booking people in for a call. All of a sudden, it clicked. Game changed for me. I made 3K a month, and ever since then, I don't think I've ever made less than like 1.5K a month. Ever. Obviously, like I said, there were ups and downs, and the main mistake that I was making was being unsatisfied with those 1.5K months because I was like, yeah, 3K a month, it needs to be like that every single month. Is this sustainable? Is this consistent? And then I realized, let me calm down and just keep focusing. I don't want to allow that sort of an earthquake to shatter my confidence, you know? And obviously it clicked. It clicked. And that's exactly why volume and consistency goes super long way. Because remember what we discussed on our last video, delayed gratification. Not only that delayed gratification is a sign of intelligence, but it also makes you work hard relentlessly, no stop, because you know that eventually reward will come, reward will wait for you. I said it multiple times and I'll say it again. I've never met a single person in my entire life from this space, sales space, fully performance based space, who put his all into it and didn't see any success. That person doesn't exist because whoever puts his genuine all into it will succeed. Now it all depends, what do you consider success? What's success for you? For me, it was obviously making a lot more money, establishing myself in the industry, making people familiar with my stuff, with my skills, with my services. Who am I? And that's exactly what I'm doing with Wolf of Croatia right now. I'm trying to build that presence, and I know that me posting these videos right now will serve me long term. It might not serve me today, it might not serve me tomorrow, next week, or a week after, next month, whatever. It will serve me in 6 months' time, and I'm fine with it because I don't want to regret not doing these things. If you don't change your stuff now, you will, in 5, 6 months' time, you'll regret and you'll be like, oh, if only I changed my stuff on 30th of March, which is the date, today's date of me recording this video. So always think long term, because I'm sure you regret not taking this step a year ago, because obviously if you took it a year ago, you'd be in a way better position now. And think about it as well. You are the youngest you'll ever be again. Today is the youngest you'll ever be. So from now on, you'll only be getting older. And it's the same for tomorrow, the day after. So if you're eventually going to take that step, just take it now, and the sooner you do something, the sooner you're going to see results. And that's exactly why this delayed gratification is very crucial, because your efforts combined with those daily tasks that we talked about that are non-negotiable for you to complete will make you so much money that you can't even fathom. Maybe you're not going to be making 20k months with your outbound appointment setting position, but you will make, I don't know, this amount of money when you develop something else, because it builds your skills. You can't even fathom it. And at this point, in order for you to be consistent, I don't want you to be sending below 40 messages per day. That's bare minimum, nothing less than 40 messages a day. With outbound, there is always something to do. Even when you send 40, you can send 10 more, you can send 20 more, you can do whatever the hell you want. You truly can do whatever the hell you want. And you doing less than 40 a day is just excuses, because everyone can do it. What you need to do in order to accomplish that on a every single daily basis is just optimize your time better. Do 10 in the morning, do 10 before lunch, do 10 after lunch, at like 5 p.m., do 10 before you go to sleep. And that's like making it way easier for you. And you can surely stick somewhere 10 more in between those time slots, right? Because it just how you build that consistency and volume that's required for you to succeed. Like I said, your efforts combined with those daily tasks that you tick off every single day, that you set up for yourself before you go to sleep, is what's going to make you successful. And like I said, there's always something to do, because you don't rely on anyone else. You rely on your efforts and your efforts only. You're not relying on ads, you're not relying on content. So, yeah, simply, I just don't want to hear any excuses, because here's the thing: when you are in full control of what you do, you are also automatically in full control of how much money you make, because this is the formula. I mean, not the formula, yeah, actually it is a formula that works around you scaling your own income, and it's extremely simple and straightforward. I'm gonna say a hypothetical situation, because obviously everyone is different. So let's say you're making 500 a week right now. Let's say this is your scenario right now, and I'm gonna label it as that. Let's say this is your case right now, number one. This is what you're making right now. You're making 500 a week, and as we all know already, we've done it multiple times, reverse engineer the stuff. With you making 500 a week, we can imagine that you're, like I said, sending at least 40 messages a day, which is your bare minimum. This is your input, and this is your output. Your actually, I'm gonna reverse it. You're inputting, sorry, 40 messages a day, and you're outputting, your outcome is 500 a week. And you want to scale to scenario number two, let's say. This is your goal. So you want to get from here to here. And what do you think you need to be doing in order for you to make 1K a week? What do you think should be your inputs if your output is double the first scenario? Logically, you just double the input. And now, instead of doing 40 messages a day, you just do 80 messages a day. And voila, you done it. You've done it. And that's exactly why I say that a lot of people don't understand how lucrative and profitable can the outbound positions be, because you fully depend on yourself. If you want to scale, just double the input and you'll see double the outcome. But here's the trick. By doing this, you might think it's only gonna be double. And you remember what we discussed already. You think it's only gonna be double, but it's not. Exponential growth is there. Exponential growth is what's gonna truly make a huge difference, because instead of you, let's say, doubling down on from 40 messages a day to 80, you're not going to be making 1K a week. You're going to be making a bit more than that, not 2x, but you're going to make maybe 2.5x. So instead of 1K a week, you're going to make 1.2. I don't know, just an example. I can't be bothered to do maths. Why? Because by you doing more stuff, you learn more, you handle people better, you enjoy things more because things are obviously working. You're having that discipline, having that consistency, doing it day in and day out, and you're all in all just mastering your work. And ultimately, you are booking more calls. And that's exactly why I say that this goes such a long way, because by you doing these things, you handle people better. And like I said, you enjoy more, which then results in you becoming the master of your work. And you can logically understand that masters are not, doing some rookie numbers. No, they're booking more calls than anyone else, and they're ultimately making more money than anyone else because they're the masters of it. I can call myself the master of something, which is obviously this these outbound operations, because I've done it already, and now I can once again create money out of thin air. And that's exactly what I want you to become. What else can you do now at this age and stage of your life if not make sure that you're building that foundation that will serve you in like 5 years' time? What else can you do? Do you want to go out, party, club, I don't know, drink, waste yourself, be a degenerate? No, you don't want that, because if I felt the sensation of you wanting that, if I felt that, then I wouldn't actually accept you here and you wouldn't be watching this video. So I'm sure you don't want that, and that's exactly why we need to focus on these things. Now, doing this all consistently is what it's all about. Once again, there will be ups and downs, but you are in full control of it. You're full control of it, and there's no reason for you not to hit these things, because you are more than allowed to split those messages every single day, because I'm sure that your client doesn't care if you're gonna do 40 before you go to sleep or 40 as soon as you wake up, as long as you hit your KPIs daily, which is 40 a day minimum, or even more if the client is aiming for much bigger things. Then you just do it. 10 in the morning, 2 hours after, 10 more, 2 hours after, 10 more. And you have like 16 hours in a day, even more if you're not sleeping 8 hours a day. So you have 16 hours. Every 2 hours, if you send 10, that's 80 already. That's 80 already. And there's no excuses for you not to do that. Because when you do that, this is what you're gonna experience. Just this full on exponential growth. And it will also feel easier. You splitting these messages will feel easier, and you're gonna understand that this whole work is actually much more simpler than slaving away in, I don't know, McDonald's for 8 to 10 hours a day, where they pay you 10 euros an hour. Well, yeah, this is way better because you're allowed to do it whenever you want. You wake up with the purpose, and how you start your day is how you'll finish it. That same way goes for weeks. How you start your Monday is how you'll end the week. And that also starts for months and years. How you start the month, first of month, the beginning of the month, how you build that foundation for the rest of it is how you'll finish it. How you start your 1st of January, New Year resolutions, you do it for 2 weeks, then that's where the real tests come in place? Are you gonna give up and finish the year super poorly as every other year in your life, or you're gonna keep on going and finish the year strong? How you start something is how you'll finish it as well. And you should absolutely not give up after a few weeks if you don't see any results, because that's what soft people do. They give up around this this area right here. This is where they give up. You see this red dot right here. Just before the boom, they give up. Just before they start seeing something clicking, something flipping, that entire thing actually working out, that's where they give up, and that's why they never see any success. You surely don't want to give up. There is one very famous illustration of a miner mining, and then giving up just one swing away from the diamond, from the gold mine. I'm sure you remember that. I can't be bothered to find it on Safari right now. And then there's another example straight below him. He's constantly digging, and he came to that gold mine because he never gave up. And in order for you to do so, there is one formula that I want you to absorb. It goes like this: mindset times activity times performance. This is the most crucial thing you'll probably see in this video. When it comes to mindset, you should adopt these few qualities. ABL, it stands for always be learning. You should always learn. There's never an end to your learning. Second, pipeline management. You have to develop that mindset where you're not at ease, you're feeling uncomfortable when your pipeline isn't managed, when the people are not replied with speed, when things are messy, when people are not labeled leads, booked calls, reserved, whatever the label, whatever labels you have in your DMs. You should not be at ease when your pipeline isn't managed. Attitude as well. I need your attitude. I need your intention to be better. I need your intention to book more calls, to do more work, to make more money. Not because of me, not because of your client, but because of you and only you. You made a promise to yourself. If you break a promise that you made to yourself, I couldn't care less. I can provide you with anything you want, especially when it comes to appointment setting and getting better at it. But if you don't uh, keep that level up consistently, you broke a promise to yourself, and you're gonna stay at the same stage you're at right now for the rest of your life. That's the attitude and intention I want. Then the activity, follow-ups combined with the mindset. It's very boring to do follow-ups. It's uh, very big commitment to add that speed to reply that I noted right here. These are very big commitments, but with you adopting that sort of a mentality and that sort of a mindset I just talked about, it's gonna be easy, and your activities are going to be on a super high level. You need to smash your KPIs because, like I said, more input equals more output. No one else can make you more money than you can make for yourself. And then the performance, prioritizing correctly. If a lead is close to booking a call, prioritize him over someone else who is only at the beginning of your appointment setting structure. Split test. Split test what works, where the drop off happens. If you ask a qualifying question and the person leaves you unseen, and if it happens repeatedly 2 or 3 times, you test it out. You see, all right, this crap doesn't work. Let me change it because otherwise I'll be wasting leads. That's what the performance is all about. That's what people see outside. You booking more calls, that's what your client and the closer, maybe if your client has him in his team, that's what they see. They see that you've tested, improved, and now having better performances. Ask for feedback based on your tests that you've just done, based on the questions that you're asking. Ask your client, ask me, yo, bro, do you think this is right? Do you think I can make it any better? Or ABL, always be learning. Like, even I, to this day, I'm asking my mentor every single day about new things that I can actually improve. He's making 45 to 50K a month. I'm making 10. And guess what? Him making that amount of money is also asking his mentor absolutely the same things, and his mentor is making over 500,000 a month. And I don't know his mentor, but I can only imagine, because he's a real goat in this space. I can only imagine that he has a mentor who he is asking questions consistently. Feedback, learning. That's what it's all about. Convo reviews as well. You have a combo, it ends well, you book a call, it ends up in a close, amazing. Analyze it, see what you've done amazingly, and extract it, make a script for yourself, make a framework, and implement it onto any other lead that you'll be having in a pipeline, because if something works, you just double down and make it work more. You know, if the crap didn't work, well, you analyze what you did wrong and you start fixing the things that went wrong. You start improving them. And just be human, because we're not perfect and no one's expecting you to be perfect. But as long as you show that level of commitment, people are gonna be very satisfied with you. Me first, as a guy who is trying to put everything together to make you learn more, and then your client, who is obviously the one who is giving you a chance to change your life, whose offer you're setting for, and who is obviously closing deals that you get paid from. So very in-depth video, but hopefully it clicked. I want it for you to click. I truly want it for you to click, because it's crucial for you to understand these things if you don't want to get flushed out of the market. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Just stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one, and keep killing it. If you have any extra questions, just let me know. Just let me know. I'm more than happy to help and put you in the right direction with whatever I can. Whatever is in my power, as long as you're showing efforts, I'm more than happy to assist. Thanks for watching, and keep killing it.